I am Aligir Lingappa, Assistant Professor in Physics, Government First Grade College, Siruguppa. Today I will discuss about analysis of the diffraction pattern. So previous class we discussed about what is diffraction, what are the different types of diffraction, how they can be differentiated, all those things. So analysis of the diffraction pattern. According to Huygens principle, the points on a wavefront are a new source of disturbances. These waves produced by secondary source are called secondary wavelets. The combined effect of secondary wavelets at any point on the screen is given by the particle of principle of superposition of the waves. So, the locus of all the points, they are vibrating with the same phase, they are in the same state of vibration, is known as wavefront. Again, each point, that means every point in the wavefront, there are new sources of disturbances. So these waves produced by the secondary sources are called secondary wavelets. The combined effect of secondary wavelets at any point on the screen is given by the particle principle of superposition of the waves. So now you see the diagram. So the diagram which indicates how the diffraction pattern which are obtained in case of Fraunhofer diffraction. So the experimental arrangement which consists of monochromatic source S. Say it is called source slit. The monochromatic light from the source slit is made to incident on the convex lens L1, where the S which is placed at the principal focus of the convex lens L1. The diverging beam from the source S is made to pass through the convex lens L1. Then the waves which are emerging from the convex lens L1, they are parallel to each other, so called parallel beam of light. The parallel beam of light which is nothing but a plane wavefront, where W of that indicates the plane wavefront. The plane wavefront is made to incident on the sharp edged obstacle AB, say S dash, where the incident parallel beam at AB which undergoes the diffraction. So further the diffracted beam, the diffracted rays are made to passes through the convex lens L2. So then further the light which undergoes refraction through the lens L2. The refracted beam is made to incident on the screen, where a screen which is placed at the principal plane of the lens L2, such that the alternating maxima and minima which are obtained on the screen in the field of V So let C be the one of the point on the screen where the number of rays they will emit. This is known as a primary maxima, where intensity is maximum. The primary maxima is surrounded by the alternating secondary maxima and secondary minima. So let us consider one of the points, say P on the screen, where point P, which is it a dark or minima or maxima, which depend on the path difference between the rays which are meeting at point P. So this is the way of obtaining a diffraction pattern in Fraunhofer diffraction method. So now you see the diagram. So the diagram which indicates that the nature of the diffraction pattern obtained in case of Fraunhofer diffraction. The central fringe is a maximum intensity, so called primary maximum. The primary maximum, so that means when the secondary maxima and secondary minima, they are formed on either side of the central primary maximum. As we move from central maximum outwards, then the intensity of the fringes goes on decreases. So this is what about the nature of the diffraction of bands which are obtained on the screen. Let C be the midpoint on the screen. The wavelengths from A and B arrived at C in the same phase. Hence, intensity is a maximum and is called primary maxima. Let the slit is divided into a number of narrow strips of equal width and parallel to slit. Suppose if wavelets from these slits meet in phase, or path difference between them is odd multiple of half wavelength, produce region of maximum intensity called secondary maxima. If wavelets meet in out of phase, or their path difference is even multiple of wavelength, half wavelength, produce secondary minima. So thus diffraction pattern is obtained in case of Fraunhofer diffraction. Then what are the conditions for maxima and minima? So now you see the diagram. AB that indicates a slit, D that indicates the width of the obstacle or slit, where AN so called perpendicular drawn perpendicular to BN. There are two refracted rays. They are made to pass through a convex lens. After refraction, they will meet at a point P. Where point P, it may be either a maxima or a minima, so which depend on the path difference between the two diffracted rays. So here the path difference is Bn. Bn is equal to delta, which is equal to path difference. So path difference between the secondary wavelets A and B is represented by the distance Bn. From the triangle BAN, sin theta is equal to BC by AB, which is equal to delta by D. So further delta is equal to D sin theta, where D aperture of the slit AB, theta angle of diffraction. For a maxima, delta is equal to 2n plus 1 into lambda by 2. D sin theta is equal to plus or minus 2n plus 1 lambda by 2, where n is equal to n which contains the integers, so they are 0, 1, 2, 3, etc. So then pi is equal to 2n plus 1 pi. So path difference, that must be equal to odd multiple of lambda by 2. So phase difference, that must be equal to odd multiple of pi in case of maxima. So this is exactly opposite to that of the conditions for bright and dark fringes in case of interference pattern. So for primary central maxima, n is equal to 0. Then d sin theta is equal to lambda by 2. Then sin theta is equal to lambda by 2d, where lambda is wavelength of light used. For first secondary maxima, n is equal to 1. D sin theta is equal to 3 lambda by 2. Then for minima, delta is equal to n lambda. D sin theta is equal to plus or minus n lambda. Sin theta is equal to plus or minus n lambda by d. So that means in case of a diffraction for minima, a path difference that must be equal to say even multiple of lambda by 2. For first secondary minima, n is equal to 1. Then the above equation becomes d sin theta is equal to lambda and so on. So just this is the diagram. The graphical representation of intensity versus distance from the center, where the middle of the graph that indicates the intensity of the primary maximum. So then secondary maxima and secondary minima, they are formed on either side of the central primary maximum. The intensity of secondary maxima goes on decreases on either side of the central primary maxima, so that the graphical representation of intensity versus the distance of the fringes from the center. So here now we see that if white light is used instead of monochromatic light, the central maximum of diffraction pattern will be white, but it is surrounded by colored fringes. If we have used white light, source of polychromatic light instead of monochromatic light, then what about the diffraction pattern, the nature of the diffraction pattern which we obtained? Where the diffraction pattern which consists of the central maxima of diffraction pattern will be white, then it is surrounded by colored fringes. That is the nature of diffraction pattern obtained if we have used white light or polychromatic light instead of monochromatic light. So the distance between the first secondary minima on either side of the central maximum is called width of the central maxima. The distance between the first secondary minima on either side of the central maximum is called width of the central maxima. So now you see the diagram. Draw the triangle with respect to central maxima. Let P be the center of the minima, Q center of the primary maxima, then PQ. So determine the value of PQ, so called X. Then further 2X, that gives the width of the central maxima. For minima, d sin theta is equal to n lambda, n is equal to 1 for one secondary minima. So first secondary minima, d sin theta is equal to lambda, then sin theta is equal to lambda by d. If a convex lens of focal length f is held very close to the slit, then f is equal to d, where d distance between the slit and screen. If the distance between slit and screen is equal to that of the is approximately equal to that of the focal length of the convex lens, if it is placed very close to slit, then from the figure tan theta is equal to x by d, tan theta is equal to x by f, where tan theta is equal to x by d. So further, where x linear separation between central maxima and first secondary minima. If theta is very small, then we say that tan theta is approximately equal to sin theta is approximately equal to tan theta. Then further, lambda by d is equal to x by d, or lambda by d is equal to x by f. If theta is very small, then sin theta is approximately equal to tan theta. If sin theta is approximately equal to tan theta, then lambda by d, small d, which is equal to x by capital D, where d is equal to f, so that lambda by d is equal to x by f, where f focal length of the lens L2. Then further, which can be done as x is equal to lambda d by d, or x is equal to lambda f by d. Then width of the central maxima, that must be equal to 2x, say s is equal to 2x is equal to 2 lambda d by d, or finally we will get s is equal to 2 lambda d by d. So this is the expression for width of the central primary maximum in case of diffraction pattern. So then what are the differences between interference and diffraction? It is a property by which the modification in the distribution of light intensity takes place due to a superposition of waves. In case of diffraction, it is a property by which light bends across the edges of the obstacle. So in case of interference pattern, it is due to interaction between two different wavefronts. In case of diffraction pattern, it is due to interaction between secondary wavelets starting from same wavefront. For interference, the pattern consists of number of alternating bright and off fringes. For diffraction, the pattern consists of few number of alternating maxima and minima. In case of interference, all bright bands are of same intensity. In case of diffraction, all the brightness of the bands decreases away from the central band. In case of interference pattern, the dark bands are perfectly dark, say 0 intensity, I is equal to 0. But in case of diffraction, all the dark bands are not perfectly dark, I should not be equal to 0, but they are minimum intensity. All the bands are of equal width in case of interference pattern. All the bands are not of equal width in case of diffraction pattern. So condition for a maxima, delta is equal to n lambda, path difference of phase difference is equal to pi is equal to 2 pi, 2n pi. Even multiple of lambda by 2, even multiple of pi. But condition for a maxima in case of diffraction, path difference which is equal to 2n plus 1 lambda by 2, odd multiple of lambda by 2. Phase difference pi is equal to 2n plus 1 pi, so odd multiple of pi. So similarly in case of interference, condition for a minima, delta is equal to 2n plus 1 lambda by 2. That means odd multiple of lambda by 2. Phase difference 2n plus 1 pi, odd multiple of pi. In case of diffraction, condition for a minima, so path difference is equal to n lambda by 2. That means even multiple of lambda by 2. Phase difference which is equal to 2n pi, even multiple of pi. So the condition for maxima, for interference and diffraction, a condition for a minima in case of interference, in case of diffraction. So in case of interference, there is a good contrast between bright and dark fringes. In case of diffraction pattern, there is a poor contrast between maxima and minima. So these are the differences between interference pattern which obtained in case of interference of light and a diffraction pattern which obtained in case of diffraction of light. So the distribution of intensity of light in case of interference pattern. The diagram or the graph which indicates intensity of distribution curve for interference. All the curves they have same intensity, all the bright bands they are same intensity, all the dark bands they have zero intensity, and all they are of equal widths. So that means the interference pattern which consists of alternating bright and dark fringes as shown in the diagram. So similarly for intensity distribution curve for diffraction. If you plot a graph, light intensity versus angular positions. Now you see the diagram. The central band which has maximum intensity, and then the secondary minima and maxima they are formed on either side of the primary maximum. As we move from central maximum, the intensity of the fringes goes on decreases, gradually decreases on either side of the central maxima. The width of the central maximum is greatest when compared to all other bands. So width of the fringes goes on decreases. So from this graph we concluded that so that means the diffraction pattern which consists of central brightest fringe, so called central maximum. The central maximum is surrounded by the alternating secondary maxima and secondary minima. All the bright fringes are not same intensity. All the dark fringes are not have zero intensity. All the fringes are not of same widths. So that is what the difference between interference pattern and diffraction pattern. So in this class we have discussed about what is diffraction, what are the different types of diffractions, analysis of Fraunhofer diffraction, the experimental arrangement for obtaining Fraunhofer diffraction. Then what about the condition for a central maximum, condition for secondary maxima, condition for secondary minima, the differences between the phenomenon of interference and the phenomenon of diffraction, and the graphical representation of intensity versus angular position in case of interference. So graphical representation of diffraction pattern or bands and so on. Thank you.